We started working on Dead Men Tell No Tales at the very beginning of pre-production. They had a script that they were working with, they were developing the script, and we were helping that process of realizing the look of these ghosts.
We were doing a lot of the character designs, the pirates themselves, the underwater kind of aspect of their look. They kind of have this really interesting feel to them where it almost feels like the entire time they exist underwater. So their hair is kind of floating very naturally, and they have speck removed from their faces as if, you know, the light was breaching through the top of the water and then being diffused through the water. So they have this really interesting rendering to them.
There was other ghosts in there. There were animals. This whole incident that happened, I guess, affected the humans, the sea life, and the birds. They're all brought back to life as these unique ghosts as well.
These animals, these characters, all of them sharing these aspects of zombified, but in a unique way. In a weird way, trying to tie a whole theme together.
We started creating kind of like this fossilized looking, decomposed bird with still wings so it could fly, but seeing the skeletal structure, and some of the first designs were exactly what's used and you see in the trailer right now. What's interesting about a shark is it has no skeleton except for its teeth. It's easier when you're like showing other fish, when you're like seeing through it, you can see the skeletal structure. We did a few that kind of cheated a reality just to help the feeling of what we needed to get across, but I think it works for the film.
There were some studies that we did on like the ship's masthead and trying to figure out what did that look like in different elements, because part of the storyline, the ship is destroyed in some form or fashion. Was it burned, or did it just sink? Did it rot? And then how does that affect the look and how that interacts with the characters as they play out their scenes?
As a designer, you're using, for something like this, instead of it being kind of very graphic and realistic, is you find the elements of those kind of scenarios and how do you bring it to life in a kind of in some ways for this, it could be in a comical way. Did part of the ship go through a person? So what would that look like, with all the pieces?
You have to make sure that your designs stay within tone and they don't go too horror or not horror enough. There's that interesting balance between things being scary but not so scary that it's a jump moment, and especially when you're dealing with dead zombie pirates. So there was that, and then as well making sure that the things that we were designing were actually possible in visual effects, and make sure that they weren't so complicated that it was just undoable.
Yeah, after 5 pirate films, there's a through line that's going to feel somewhat similar. There have been ghosts in the past, and you have a lot of pirates, or you have characters that feel like they're from that same time period with the same kind of costumes. So to create something fresh and new is always a challenge, and was on this.
It was tough living up to the previous ones because there was such amazing work that was done on them before, like the Bill Nighy, kind of octopus face squid version, really iconic. So trying to level up to that was a real challenge, and we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing it, but like you said, there's a lot to live up to.
I think that's where the flexibility of coming up with this, ghosts looking like they're underwater, when they're out of water, the comical aspects of how some of them may have died, all that stuff will make it somewhat fresh and, and exciting to watch.